It's June 22. It's 24 degrees here in Lagos. It's a Monday morning and it's a rainy one here in the part of the country. Guess what? Again, I say 24 degrees. Amaya Makinde, welcome to the show.
Good morning. It is also 24 degrees right here in the nation's capital. I'm Kayla Megwa. Welcome to Sunrise Daily, your daily dose of sunshine. Ayo, what a weekend we've had. I think we say that every weekend. Every Monday when we resume work, a lot of things have happened over the weekend. Well, this weekend, Ekiti decided, and controversies, ripple effects of that decision will form the crux of our first conversation this morning, Ayo.
Well, you know what's interesting, and I'd like to find out from our guest this morning when we have that conversation. There's hardly any time we have any elections and we don't have that kind of blowback, and usually we haven't gotten to that level, Kayla, where the winner or whoever is declared by INEC gets any congratulation from the ruling party, from the opposition parties. But guess what? Hardly, very rarely have we had those elections upturned by the courts and all of that. I don't know, but maybe let's just get right into it, shall we?
Let's do that. All right. So after the elections in Ekiti State, and Channels Television was really on point. We took our time since Friday. Seun Okinbaloye has been wonderful. We've been taking it step by step before the elections, things that they expected when the announcement was made. Afterwards, then the reaction from the governor, from the progressive governors who are very excited, and then of course getting the opposition. Yesterday we had on Sunday Politics, we had the candidates for the ADC and the candidate for the SDP. Now, I mentioned something, the fact that we haven't gotten to where people congratulate after they lose an election. However, in this particular case, they didn't just not congratulate the governor. They went on a whole tour explaining the things that they witnessed on the election grounds. Now, this particular election was controversial in many ways. For many people, they didn't believe this was a real election. Some people thought this was going to be a coronation of sorts. Now, we saw that landslide victory. And of course, we saw the statement from the presidency as well. This is the first time, according to Mr. Bayo Nanuga, the spokesperson of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that a person has won an election in Ekiti State back-to-back. For those who've done 2 terms, he says there must have been some kind of space in between that. But back-to-back, this is the first time an incumbent is getting this kind of support, this kind of election from the people. Well, Mr. Abiodun Yebanji of the APC secured 319,224 votes to win a second term in office, clearing a majority across all 16 local government areas and 177 wards out of 179. Dr. Wole Oluyede of the PDP finished a distant second with just 40,543 votes. And as you've been hearing, Ambassador Dare Bejide, who we had on Sunday Politics yesterday, came in 3rd place with 12,872 votes. The voter turnout was a very big issue with this election, and it brings up the question about the least of us voting in people into office. Do the people who are in office truly represent the people if the people didn't engage that process? Well, joining us to talk about how they feel about these elections, the legal practitioner and chieftain of the ADC, Barrister Kalu is with us in the studio. Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning, Kayla.
It's good to have you with us in the studio.
Same here.
All right, so let's talk about your thoughts on these results. First of all, we heard your candidates yesterday, and he was mentioning names. His major allegation was vote buying. Talk to us a bit about how the party is responding to this situation.
Kayla, all until we have a very strong institution, we won't get our elections right. Strong institutions like INEC, that is saddled with the responsibility of conducting election. The security agencies, who are known today as an appendage to the ruling party, the APC. You can't see, if you saw what happened in Ekiti on Saturday, before the security agencies, where the members of the APC were buying votes, and they did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even prior to the election, we saw video clips on social media where people were being given voters' cards so that on the election day, they will go and vote, whether the voters' card belong to them or not. All until we have very strong institutions to man and conduct our elections, my sister will just be wasting our time. And I can assure you, in 2027 general election, Nigerians will rise against these institutions. I can tell you that for free. You know why I'm telling you this for free? Because we know that the destiny of this nation is in our hands. It is no longer in the hands of INEC, the DSS, the police, or all the security agencies. We know they are all compromised. And because they are all compromised, we won't allow them to detect the outcome of 2027 general election. Let me just give you a background information. Because of the massive rigging that APC is known for, that is why you see all these governors moving into APC, so that the APC structure will help them rig election in 2027. But we are telling them they have made the worst mistake any politician can make, thinking that going into 2027 election, that Nigerians will allow them rig 2027 general election. Once the campaign date starts, we are going to come up with a hashtag, rig and die in Nigeria. We are coming up with a hashtag, rig and die in Nigeria. Whether you are a professor, that you are coming to conduct the election and declare results that do not reflect the wishes of the people in the area you are declaring the results, as a professor or as somebody from the academia, we will tell you, you rig and you die. Because
how would they die? You will kill them.
Nigerians will go after them. Because it's a crime already, it's a crime.
You're asking Nigerians to kill people?
No, we're not asking Nigerians to kill people.
You said Nigerians will come after them.
We're saying, if you rig election in 2027, we're coming up with a hashtag. Remember, sister, you see, where it appears...
I need you to explain the hashtag.
I will explain it to you.
Rig and die. How?
Yes, if you rig election, you die. The way you're going to die, we don't know, but you will die.
You're going to kill them?
We're not going to kill them, but if you rig election, I'm speaking on a national television because it has become a bane to our democracy.
You cannot be calling people to die, to kill others.
No. Did I say people should go and kill them? I said we are coming up with a hashtag. The way you're going to die, you don't know.
Is it spiritual?
I don't know, but it's going to be a hashtag that you rig, you die. In Nigeria, we're not going to.
I thought we have passed this stage of where election is do or die.
It's not a do or die.
And we do not condone violence. Hold on a second.
My sister, it's not a do or die.
Hold on, Barrister Kalu.
My sister, it's not a do or die.
Hold on a second, Barrister Kalu.
Can you allow me to explain to you what I mean?
Hold on a second. We cannot be calling on people's death because of an election. You cannot be doing that. We can't do that. You can't do that on live TV. You can't be talking about people dying because of an election. That's wrong.
Can I explain to you?
How can you do that?
Can I explain to you? Which one is more? Which one is more? That I made an transaction. Which one is more? Is it the person that has already made up his mind to go out on election day with a mindset of I'm going to rig this election, and just a mere pronouncement that if it is your intention to go out on election day on an exercise that defines the welfare of a people, right, of over 200 million people.
Yes.
You're going in on election day with a mindset that I am going to disrupt the entire process. I am going to rig the entire process. I will make sure that the wishes of the people will not be pronounced. And then that one means nothing to you, Kela. Then what now matters to you is that Kalu said that if it is what is your intention to go out that very day, whether you're a police officer, whether you're an NEC officer, that you cannot do it and come back home alive.
You cannot be asking for people to die. It's against the law. And then, of course, you're perpetuating violence. We cannot allow that.
No.
We can't allow that.
Violence.
You are. You just said people should die because they rigged an election.
I'm saying if you do it, which means you already committed a crime. If you do it,
let's change. Maybe look at that hashtag again. If you rig,
we are going to put up that hashtag.
Maybe if you rig, you go to jail. Maybe not die.
No, not to go to jail, because my sister
cannot be killing people.
My sister, let me tell you, I've been around for a long time. You know, when we say we have weak institutions, we don't just talk about INEC. INEC is just one of the institutions that conduct election. We have the judiciary, and the people have lost so much confidence in the judiciary. You will see now. Every year, every election year, we say, how can we make sure that there will be no rigging in the election? At the end of the day, you will now come out. Everybody will come and say, even your channels will report massive rigging, massive vote buying, and all that. You will even see INEC result sheets, highly doctored, highly manipulated, and at the end of the day, the perpetrators of those acts are left free to be walking around the streets of Nigeria without any consequence. So that is what we are saying. I think the off-season election, probably by next month or in August, Osun will have their own off-season election. And I know that is going to be a tough one in Osun State. It's not going to be easy for the ruling party in Osun State.
Let's talk about how your party even did. You came third, 12,872 votes out of let me use the accredited voters, right? Because the voters that registered were over 1,059,000. But accredited voters, 384,940. And your party had only 12,872 votes. For many people, they say, what is this? And we heard them say yesterday that you were not on ground. 12,000 people. You couldn't get up to 20,000 people to vote for you in a state that has how many local government areas? You know, so many people have been talking about the capacity of your party, the capability of your party to be everywhere. Were you on ground? Were you able to do proper, electioneering? Were you able to get 12,000 people with, so a lot of people are still looking at your party and wondering how present you were. The APC is saying that you were just doing election on social media, that you weren't on ground. And we also heard from your party, your candidate yesterday, how, there was a lot of oppression and suppression going on during the electioneering. But just 12,872 votes?
Kela.
Yes,
Kela,
yes.
Let me just take you a little bit back to when Fayemi Kayode was elected in 2028. How many votes did he get to be declared winner? Run it your system. About 100-something thousand. In 2018, about 100-something thousand. That was what Kayode, about 170-something thousand. That was what Kayode got. And PDP got very close to that number in 2018. In 2022, when the incumbent governor won his election in 2022, he got 187,000, about that figure. And the closest, I think it was SDP that got about 80-something thousand, very close. And PDP, same, close to that margin. Now, from nowhere, in 2026, the number now doubled. The number APC got in this election now doubled. It tells you one thing, that there was massive rigging.
Or more people voted?
Not more people voted.
You don't think more people voted?
No, I said not. It's not an issue of. Let's check the statistics. I will always.
The statistics don't. That math that you did.
I said in 2018, 2018.
And the people from then are not the people now. We have a larger population.
Of how many that the population has doubled?
We have a larger population.
No, from 20.
We have more people.
No, let me do the analysis again. In 2018, Fayemi Kayode won with 170-something thousand votes. So after 4 years, when the incumbent governor came in, he got 187,000 votes, about 10,000 difference after 4 years. Now in 2022 to 2026, it now doubled
to 319,000.
To 319,000 votes.
Okay.
So you can't tell me that the statistics are lying. That if not for massive rigging by the ruling party. And let me also tell you one thing.
Yes.
You see, I didn't expect, I'm a very objective person. I didn't expect anything less than what happened in Ekiti State.
Did you think you were going to win?
No, hold on.
No, hold on.
No, I said, allow me to finish on these thoughts.
Okay.
You know, by the performance of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has made APC a regional party. He has made APC to be a Western political party. It will be a reflection, mark my word, and I will always come back to your station after the 2027 general elections, that APC has become a regional political party to be known within the Southwest.
Okay. I do have to bring in my colleague in Lagos. Ayo, go ahead with your questions.
Well, thank you, Kayla. I'll begin with that question that you asked. So, Mr. Kalu, just straight up, did you expect your party to win the Ekiti governorship election?
Why not? If the election had been free, fair, and credible, ADC would have won the election.
Okay.
I will tell you the reason why we would have won.
We'll come to it, but I have a few questions. I have a few questions. The election had about 2,445 polling units. And so far, 98% of those results have been uploaded. Did your party have agents at all the polling units?
Ayo, I said, if the election had been free, fair, and credible, ADC would have won the election in
I heard
state.
that, but I'm just asking you a direct question. Did your party
Why not? Why not?
Why
not? We did. We
had 2,445
across board.
You had 2,445 polling agents across all the polling units in the Ekiti election. Is that what you're saying?
We did.
Okay. Now I've checked. I'm looking at just one. Hold on. Just a second. Just so we can make some sense.
I'm with you.
I'm looking at IREV, right? And I've looked at a few, just on the first 50 results on the front page when you land on the IRF page for the Ekiti elections. I can tell you from what I have seen so far that at least 1/5, your party agents had their signatures in just 1/5 of the 50 that I have seen on the front page. And I'm almost certain that it continues on and on and on like that. So if you had party agents across all the polling units, and let's say, as you said, rigging happened across all the polling units, and your own candidates did not sign their presence, because there are places where they scored 1 vote, the APC and other parties scored higher votes, those signed, your polling agent also signed. Are you saying that they all conspired? Because it seems from the records here that your agents were not represented at all the polling units.
That's to tell you the level of rigging that took place in Ekiti State. You said the figure you just mentioned now, that our agents did not sign, which means those results sheets we are prepared at the back or at the absence of our polling unit agents. That's to tell you what happened. My brother, there is no serious political party that will go into a very serious political contest that will not have polling unit agents across the polling units in the state.
But it is not. It's not happening for the first time, Mr. Kalu. It is not happening for the first time. In the last general elections, just a second. In the last general elections.
No.
Just a second, so you understand. In the last general elections, there were major political parties. You know, even the PDP didn't have polling units across, polling agents across all the polling units all across the nation. Even the APC did not have polling agents across every single polling unit across the nation. And there are some people in the opposition parties who are claiming to have won the election simply because there was rigging. So did your agents also conspire against your party? Were they also paid? Because you're claiming vote buying.
No. You see, which means you didn't hear what I told you or what my initial statement was or my response to your initial question was. I said that will tell you the magnitude of rigging that took place in Ekiti State on Saturday, because we had all our units agents in that election. What the results that were uploaded in the IREV show is that those results were concocted at the absence of our polling unit agents. Anywhere you did not see the signature of our agent, they know that that result was concocted.
So
it
do
was
you have a list?
At the back of our, no, hold on. Allow me to land on my on this issue, because I'm part of the legal team of ADC. We instructed all our agents, please sign, get the result. Don't reject any result. Sign and bring it, so as we will do an evaluation of all the results sheet we have, and then know whether the election was free and transparent. So for you to come and say that the result uploaded, that some of the results were not signed by our agent, shows that those results were concocted, those results were prepared, those results were doctored at the absence of our polling unit agent. That's to tell you how compromised INEC was in that last election, in Saturday election, how the security agencies were compromised in the last election.
Okay.
And like,
so
that
we can make a little more sense, we can make some more progress. Would you be going to court over this? Kayla pointed something very important, and that is the fact that your party came third with 12,000, a little over 12,000 votes in an election that had more than 300,000 voters. Now, if you came a close second, like say 100,000 plus or 200,000 plus, maybe some people would say, okay, well, there must have been some conspiracy. So would you be taking this to court? And if you would, do you have a complete list of all the polling agents of your party at this election?
I cannot sit here and determine what ADC will do, whether they will challenge this process in court or not. But I will sit here to condemn what happened on Saturday. It was a sham. It was no election at all. On my own as a person and as a lawyer, if given the opportunity to air my view, I'll say this election should be challenged.
Okay. Now,
should be challenged.
Were you on ground? Kayla asked that question the other time. I'm not sure you answered the question. Were you on ground in Ekiti for this election? Were you also part of the observers or an agent at the party of the party?
That wasn't her question. Her question was ADC on ground in this election?
Okay,
in the
so
Saturday
were
election.
you on ground? Were you on ground at the election to know whether or not, you know,
okay, no, I just wanted to put it straight, so as you don't say what she did not say.
Okay.
I was not on ground on that very day.
Okay. Now, what
on
exactly are you or the APC contending with? Are you contending with the outcome or the process?
Both the outcome and the process. Because the process is already flawed, then the outcome is also flawed. My brother, you know, the media houses we have in Nigeria should help democracy to grow. If you get the reports of other independent agencies, they will tell you how votes were bought. They will tell you how INEC compromised the entire process, and they will tell you how security agencies did not even help matters. These are issues that the media houses should escalate for further discussion.
Okay. So I was right here. It's nice that all of you were defending me in my presence. But I need to ask you, you're condemning the results of this election.
Very well.
And I listened to your candidate yesterday do the same thing. And when it comes to what to do next, he said he was going to consult with the party to know if there's going to be any litigation. So we're not sure yet. That consultation may be still ongoing. Now, if you're countering this figure that was given by INEC.
I just gave you statistics.
Yes.
From 2018,
yes.
100 and something thousand. After 4 years, 2022, 180 something thousand, 10,000 difference, addition. Then from 2022 to 2026, just another 4 years, you now have double the figure.
Okay.
So that tells you that there was massive rigging.
Okay, so your agents were on ground. You said that to me. Even though you were in Abuja, you were monitoring the election from
Abuja, yes, I did.
So your agents were on ground. Do they have alternative figures?
You mean our agents?
Yes.
That's why we say.
Do they have?
I'm telling you, I said that is why we said we will analyze what transpired in Ekiti.
Do you people have your own? Do your agents are the polling?
We do.
Because you said they were everywhere.
We do.
Okay.
We do.
So
all the results that we uploaded,
yes.
All the result that we announced was not a true reflection of what our agents have in that election.
Okay. Do you have that figure? Do you have the alternative?
I won't give it to you.
You won't give me.
I won't give it to you because
why?
No. Because if I give it to you, those riggers will not take it up and they know how to form their own defense. But I will tell you, if we are going to court,
yes,
it will be made public.
Those will be the figures that you
yes,
take to
it will be made public to Nigerians.
Okay.
How that Ekiti election was rigged massively.
Okay.
And I will tell you, let me tell you, you know what happened in Ekiti? They've set a platform of the results they are going to give to Nigerians. You're making
a lot of allegations.
I am, and I'm telling you.
But you were not there. You were in this Abuja.
I'm telling you, based on fact and figures we have.
Because you have to prove these things. They will sue you. They'll say you are lying against them.
How I wish they would do that. You know how I wish. You know why I say how I wish is because as a person, I can't take this matter to court because it's not a post-election litigation. I don't have that standing. I don't have that locus to do that.
Okay.
But if somebody now takes up this issue that my statements or my assertions here are wrong, then that gives me the opportunity to now bring it to the public. What transpired in Ekiti?
Okay, Mr. Barrister Kalu, legal practitioner.
No, let me also say this thing.
Yes.
Let me also say this thing.
We do have to go.
No. Please, let me also say this
in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds.
Okay.
In 30 seconds. My sister, you see, the APC, all they want to do is to send false signals to Nigerians that APC will win the 2027 general election. And that is why all the governors are all trooping into APC. But I can tell you, they are on a panic mood. All the whole cases that ADC is battling in court are being sponsored by APC to destabilize the opposition. But I am telling Nigerians today that ADC will be on the ballot.
Okay.
And once ADC is on the ballot, Nigerians will now decide whether to vote this government that has brought so much pains on them, which they call Cheiftain, or whether they want this government to be sent out of power.
Okay. Barrister Kalukale, we do have to end it there. Legal practitioner and chieftain of the ADC. Thanks again for being with us on the program.
Thank you so much, Kela.
Now, yesterday was Father's Day. And now we're moving our conversation to mental health of men. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Now, yesterday was Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to every father out there. Do wonderful work, making all of us safe, making us happy, taking care of everything in this economy. We really appreciate all the fathers out there. And that's the reason why we figured this morning, let's talk about men and men's mental health. It's a crisis that we are pretending doesn't exist, but it is there. We're dealing with an economy that is tightening. It is harder to survive. And a lot of the men that we have in this country are providers. Forget the things you see on social media. A lot of men are providing for their families. But that ability to provide is being hampered. And that in many ways affects their mental health. So let's talk about it. And we have Mr. Noel Ifeanyi Alumona, who's the founder and CEO of Boys Champions. Thanks again.
Thank you, Kayla,
for being with us on the program.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about Boys Champions first of all. What do you do?
I founded Boys Champions in 2018 to engage both boys and men in our quest for achieving a more just and sustainable world. And we also founded Boys Champions to create a platform and a safe space for boys and men to, have an opportunity to express themselves, be more vulnerable, and even, become better leaders in families and within their communities. So that's what we do at Boys Champions.
So it's a mentorship thing?
Yeah, so there are different components to our programming. Mentorship is one of those, and being able to provide these young men who are growing up access to older people who have become, older men who have become incredible in different spheres through mentorship. That's one of them. We're also utilizing sports as an entry point in our programming because we want to be able to engage these boys through the same thing that they're used to through sports. So mentorship is one of them, sports is also one of them. But more importantly, our programs are structured within the school system and within communities as well.
It's a very important conversation because of what our children, what our young men and women are looking at every day. Social media just terrifies me. Absolutely terrifying.
I agree.
And you would think that is reality. It is not. But what's happened is that the reality of our country is not being put out there. What we're seeing are the incidents of I don't even know how to describe these situations we see online. But that's what a lot of people, a lot of young men are looking at. And in many ways, you see that forming the personalities that they now carry into everyday life. How can that be checked?
So that's a very interesting part of the conversation today. And two things that you mentioned on the reported data, especially of the experiences that our boys and men face every day. And the second part of what you also mentioned is what they're exposed every single day through the media. We're seeing a high rising of, manosphere on the media, We're also seeing even our own Nollywood, with some of the things that they show on, different teams. And we're seeing how these things are affecting our boys every day. A lot of young men these days think that the easiest way to make money is to engage in certain, kind of stuff because of what they have seen Nollywood over the years, show on the media. So one of the things that we have continued to do through Boys Champions is, of course, through the mentorship program, for instance, we provide these boys with access to role models who they should look up to, because a lot of the times they look up to the people they see on the media.
That's how this Manus Fair thing became a thing in Nigeria. Exactly. It's such a strange culture. It's not who we are.
It's very disheartening, right? So we're providing them access to, the people that could help them redefine their masculinity, because we believe at Boys Champions that who they see is eventually who they become, right? So if I continue to see people like, say, Tony Elumelu every single time talk to me about what it means to be an entrepreneur, I probably told that line. If I see other people who are doing other, horrible things within the society, I probably told that line as well. So being able to provide them access to these role models helps them also to reshape how they view life, how they view the internet. But additionally, I think we as parents also have a huge impact, a huge part to play in that, because sometimes we expose our kids, our children, to social media earlier than they should, without even monitoring what happens with their phone, with their cell phones. I was outside a couple of days ago and I saw a little boy of about 7 struggling with a mother to have his phone, not the mother's phone.
It's probably having meltdowns.
And all of these things are really, impacting the child's mind development and different other things. So, and eventually they get to show up. I am a researcher. Right now I'm completing my PhD. My research is focused on adverse childhood experiences and how that impacts, men and how they show up later on in life, And we've seen that some of the experiences that these boys had while they were growing up are the experiences that actually eventually become, more problematic when they become adults, and grown-ups.
Before my colleague in Lagos gets in on this conversation, let's talk about the economic part of things.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the side that worries me. Sometimes, you know how you're entering into if you live in an estate, you take a look at the meters, the electric meters, and then you see like a lot of them are in red. And you're wondering, the person in that house, and most people that live, they're married with their families, and you're wondering how are they coping with this economy? When I buy fuel, I'm thinking, my goodness, this other person, how is he handling that? With the cost of food, if you go to the market now, you see a lot of men in the markets now. And it's either they can't believe what their wives are telling them or they want to do it themselves. It's a crazy time that we're in. And that in many ways affects the mental health of men. How can that be helped? What can be done for our men right now?
I like to talk about partnership a lot in family settings.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget that there are different dynamics to different families, right? But I like to talk about, the importance of partnership, especially for spouses and married people. I think we have really boxed our men into just that provider role that you talked about earlier when we started. We've boxed a lot of our men into that. And I do think that if we're saying we're married, we should also be partners in some of these things to see how we can reduce some of the pressures for our partners. So no man should be left alone to carry some of this. I also know, remember I talked about different dynamics, that a lot of women who are also even providers in their home. But a lot of men that I know who are working hard every day are doing that because they are the sole providers at home, and they don't have, probably measurable or, contributory, partnership from their partners and all that. So I think that is one of those areas. We also need, as a community, really need to give our men safe spaces, because these economic pressures will always be there. The economy,
so they need a place to express it.
Exactly.
Well, let me get my colleague to, because I think he wants to ask you a question in that direction. Go ahead, Ayo.
Well, thank you, Kayla. Well, first of all, quick information that there's some news coming in from the UK, but we'll bring you the details in a moment. You know, one of the things that I think, sir, that a number of people need to understand is the hidden pressures that men have to go through that may not be understood. And I'd like you to speak to some of them. There have been people, even women, who expect men to talk more, and they don't for whatever reason. You may want to also help us get an understanding of that. So generally, what are the things that put men's mental health in jeopardy? It's the month, we understand, that men's health should be given more awareness and optics. So for you, what are those issues that men contend with that need to be understood, and maybe then men can be cut some slack?
Okay. Thank you, Ayo. And Ayo, you and I know that over the years as men, we have been, you know, structured in such a way by societal expectations to behave in a certain type of way. One of those ways is some of us grew up hearing, you know, don't cry, men, don't cry. Men do not express their emotions openly. I myself, I didn't see my dad before he passed. I did not see my dad, you know, cry. Maybe like once all through the times that he spent before he passed. And Ayo, you are older than me, so you can count the number of times that you openly and vulnerably expressed yourself. And it is because of the way we all were brought up. We're brought up to be macho, be strong, and that's how the society and the community still see us. So back to the second part of what you asked about how we also, I think people in our lives need to start seeing us as humans. And first of all, they need to see us as humans. And humans do cry. Humans express their vulnerability, express their emotions. And when we come to that realization, which is what this moment, this month of June offers us, it's a month where we talk about the awareness and break the silence that actually, and some of the experiences that push men into silence. So this month is a month that is supposed to help everybody to really get to understand that it is important for us to, you know, give our men and boys the opportunity to express themselves openly and more vulnerable, and in an environment that is devoid of judgment. Because I think that is one of those things that also pushes us to become silent. If I know that expressing myself in my family or at home before my partner would actually receive emotional support and connection, I think I would feel more comfortable to do that another time. But if I know that my partner could use that against me subsequently, I think I would not want to do that. And I think that's one of the silent things that a lot of men actually continue to, you know, struggle with every single time.
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm older than you are. So we need evidence. But maybe we need to check IREV for that one. But then there is also a need, perhaps, for men to have what they call safe spaces. A load of people. I'm sure that if we look at some stats now, we'll see some things, some unfortunate and unhelpful things that are peculiar to men. It's not the way we want it to go, but then it's just the way it is. So in creating a safe space, what would you recommend that men should do by themselves so that they can have some, should I say, some form of release? Because the backlog is always there. So what kind of safe spaces, if I can put it that way, whether with someone or by themselves, would you recommend that men should consider for their own mental health? Perhaps the flip side to that is whether or not even men themselves, a good number of men across all social strata, are aware that their mental health is in jeopardy.
Right. So most of us are not aware because we've been socialized that way for a long time. But I think it is for us as men to really prioritize ourselves going forward. And I think that is really very critical. I wanted to mention that. It is high time that we started as men to, stand up for ourselves and really tell ourselves that this is really very critical and important. And that's why the work that I do at Boys Champions is really very critical and important. So Boys Champions has created a structured program that supports both young boys and older men. For instance, we have what we call our Dear Men Fellowship, which actually offers young men between the ages of 18 and 65 an opportunity to come together within a space, in partnership with therapists, psychologists, and different other professionals to offer, structured programming and safe spaces for men to release and also express themselves in spaces where they would receive support, but also not be judged as well. So I think it is time for men to, create such spaces for themselves. And even for days like the Father's Day yesterday, we didn't hear a lot of noise about that because even men did not celebrate themselves as such. We know how for International Women's Day, women are creating those platforms for themselves to talk about their experiences and celebrate themselves. I think men need to actually be the ones driving this, and we don't need to wait for anybody. So that's what I wanted to talk about, Ayo.
Okay, well, we do have that breaking story for you, and I think it's scrolling on our screens right now, coming in from the UK. UK's Keir Starmer reportedly set to quit as Labour rival will be sworn in as MP. That is scrolling on your screens right now. So Keir Starmer has resigned as the UK Prime Minister. And of course, we'll be giving you those details in the course of the day. It was expected. We've been talking about this for a few days. Embattled UK Prime Minister. So we'll see what happens in the next few hours. But stay with us and we'll be giving those details in a bit. So back to our conversation, Mr. Noel. So listening to you talk about positive spaces and where men can express themselves and the stress of the provider role, that's not going away. Are we changing the dynamic of the family where I know that, yes, it's a partnership, but there's an Oga in the house, at least for Christians. Your husband is your Lord. So, that bit of the job, in many families we're seeing right now, because of the stress and because of the economy weighing on men's mental health. You see a lot of men abandoning that role, and they call it prioritizing themselves. Oh no, I have to bring something to the table. We have to be able, Is that where should we accept that is the future of our families, where we don't have like our fathers, the sole provider, and then we keep the homestead while are we saying that we're leaving that and moving on to a different life now, where we are both trying to, tend this family together?
I think the very essence of marriage is about like complementing one another and we coming together and pulling our resources, and it could be spiritual resources, it could be material resources, by the way, and being able to ensure that we are moving the family that we're creating and building forward. I think that should be the very essence of whatever marital partnership that we want to get started. And I think where the issue is coming from is where we see men as like the sole provider. So whether the man does not have the capacity to do that, or whether you as the woman, you have, better resources, more resources than the man, you wouldn't be able to, support as a result of. So I think that's where the issue, and that's why you're seeing a lot of men, running away from that, because, I mean, it's just so much pressure that so many men can take.
Maybe
take
as we're wrapping up, the dynamics, and I like that we're being realistic with our situation, especially in the family. The truth in many families in Nigeria is that it is the woman who is providing now. You're the submissive, but you're also the provider. It's a strange dynamic that we're dealing with. And many people I don't think people want to talk about it. We're not ready to have that conversation where a submissive is also the provider, and then you have a guy in the house who doesn't do anything, or is not bringing any money for now. Maybe it's a season, it's probably going through something, or the economy has hit him, or he got laid off, or whatever it is that is going on. But that dynamic it's at the core of a lot of the issues that we're seeing in marriage, and a lot of the mental health problems that our men are facing. How should men handle, how can we help men handle that situation where they are not the main provider in the home right now? The woman is doing much better. And, you know, how do they manage that dynamic? Is that something that boys champions talk about?
Yeah, so we talk about that a lot. And again, I always like to talk about the different dynamics in homes, because what is in your home is different from what is in mine. And we don't have like one size, you know, one
fits all.
Exactly. So we don't have that type of solution. So you need to really understand your own dynamics. What happens within your family? What is the issue? And you need to find an opportunity to even like debrief with, you know, other people who probably, we all should have people that we talk to, you know, we talk through some of these experiences with. And that's what I think a lot of men do not have. And that's what we continue to preach. There are people, you should be able to be in an environment, a positive environment where you can express some of these experiences and get positive, you know, advice that could help better your situation within your home. But I do also think that, you know, even women, we need to also come to that understanding that our men need more support and more connection within the home, right?
I mean, it's a tough one. And maybe we need more groups like yours who are looking at men and how they can handle the burden that is placed on them right now. But we do have to thank you, Noel Ifeanyi Alumona, founder and CEO of Boys Champions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kayla, for having me.
All right. Well, we've been quite a conversation that we've had, from politics to men's mental health. I want to thank you all very much for letting us be a part of your day. Remember, that breaking story that we have for you is still scrolling, and we will be giving you the updates as the day unfolds. I'm Kayla Megwa. It's a Monday. Have a great week ahead.
And I'm Makinde. Just before we go, that news, a little more detail, as Kayla has promised. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigns as Prime Minister. In his statement, he says every decision he has made in office has been about putting the country first, putting the country he loves first. And Andy Burnham, who could replace the PM, will be in Westminster today to be sworn in as MP for Makerfield after winning the by-election last week. Again, more details to come. I'm Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day.